Welcome back to a new episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Whether you're listening while you're sipping to your coffee, walking your dog, or driving to work, I'm so grateful to share this time with you. If you've been feeling a little stuck lately, a little disconnected from your energy and your motivation or your joy, this episode is for you. This month, my word of the month is reignite. And it's been speaking to me in so many levels. My routines, my relationships, my creativity, and even how I see myself. So today, I want to walk you through what it means to reignite your life, your career, your habits, your joy. We're going to talk about why feeling off is more common than we think, what reigniting actually looks like. Hint, it's not about a huge transformation. And 5 areas where you might be ready to light the flame again. So let's get started. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. Let's start with something I want you to truly hear. Your spark isn't gone. It might be dim, quiet, even invisible right now, but it's not gone. It's just buried. Buried under responsibilities, under stress, under daily routines, emails, groceries, laundry, deadlines, expectations. Buried under the many hats you wear as a leader, as a parent, as a partner, as a caregiver, as a friend. Buried under the idea that everyone else's needs comes first. And I get it. Life can feel like that a lot of times. You go through the motions, and before you know it, weeks, months pass, and you start to ask yourself, when did I lose my energy, my creativity, my joy, my drive? But here's the truth. You didn't lose it. You just stopped tending to it. Think of the campfire. When it starts to die out, it doesn't immediately vanish. The flames lower, but beneath the ashes, the embers are still glowing. All they need is a little oxygen, a little fuel, and they can reignite into something powerful again. The same is true for you. You might not feel inspired right now. You might feel exhausted and overwhelmed or flat. You might even feel like you've lost your edge. But that part of you that once felt excited and driven and joyful and creative is still there. It's just waiting for you to reconnect with it. Maybe you used to feel passionate about your work, but now it's a routine. Maybe you once woke up early for morning walks or journaling, but now you barely get out of bed. Maybe you used to laugh more and dream more and say yes to things that lit you up, and now you just feel like you're going through the motions. That doesn't mean your spark is gone. It means you've been invited to pause and reignite. This episode is about giving yourself permission to believe that you can come back to life, that it's not too late, that even if the flame has dimmed, the ember's still there. And that the first step is to stop believing you're broken and start believing you're buried under layers that were never meant to define you. So ask yourself, what part of you have you been neglecting? What used to light you up, and why did you stop making space for it? Where in your life did you feel like you've been running on autopilot? You don't need to fix everything all at once. This is not about a dramatic reinvention. It's not about overhauling your life. It's about remembering, returning, reconnecting to your spark, and realizing that the very fact that you're aware of it, that you miss feeling on fire, is proof that your spark is still alive. You're not behind. You're not too far gone. You're just buried. And you're about to come back. Before we can reignite, we have to recognize where and why we're running on a low flame, because burnout doesn't always look like crashing. Sometimes it's a slow, quiet fade, a slow drift away from yourself. So let me ask you, have you noticed any of these signs lately? Number one, you feel numb or flat, even when things are going well. On paper, everything looks fine. Maybe you've checked off your goals. Maybe you have a stable routine, but inside, there's no spark, no excitement. Life starts to feel like a series of boxes to check rather than something to experience. That's a sign, not a failure, but a sign of disconnection. You've outgrown something and you're craving more. Number two, you're constantly tired even when you're rested. It's not physical exhaustion that I'm talking about. It's emotional, mental, spiritual. That feeling of waking up and already feeling behind. When even rest doesn't feel restorative, it's a clue that you need reconnection, not just more sleep. Number three, you avoid things that once excited you. Whether it's a passion project, a social gathering, a creative outlet, you start saying, maybe later, to the things that used to light you up. That's not lazy. You're not the problem. You're likely uninspired and depleted. Number four, you overcommit or you disengage. Both are signs. Overcommitting might be a way to chase worthiness, thinking, maybe if I just do more, I'll feel better. Disengaging might look like apathy or avoidance or running on autopilot. Either way, there are clues that you're not in alignment. And number five, you hear a quiet voice whispering, something's off. It's subtle, but you feel it. That whisper in the back of your mind, this isn't it. There's more. It might be about your career, your relationships, your health, or just how you're living your days. But it's always there, nudging you towards something deeper. Now, here's the important part. Don't judge yourself for feeling any of these things. Maybe you related yourself with 1, 2, 3, even 5 of them. Don't judge yourself. You're not weak. You're not failing. You're just human. And your body, your energy, your heart, they're all speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? Because awareness is power. Once you name what's off, you can begin to shift gently, intentionally. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight, but you do need to pay attention to what your life is telling you. So if you're nodding along, if you're hearing yourself in these signs, take a breath and give yourself credit. You've already done something powerful. You've noticed. And noticing is the first spark of reigniting. Now let's talk about what reigniting actually looks like in real life, because it's not always a bold reinvention or a dramatic change. Sometimes reigniting means waking up one day and deciding I'm not going to settle anymore. Sometimes it's a small shift that creates that ripple effect in the rest of your life. In this part of the episode, I want to walk you through 4 key areas where you can often feel disconnected and how you can begin to reignite those areas starting today. So let's start talking about something that takes a huge portion of our lives, our careers. Because here's the thing, even the most driven, high-performing, passionate professionals hit a point where the spark dings. It doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean you've chosen the wrong path. It just means you're evolving. And your work, well, it needs to evolve with you. Maybe you're feeling stuck in a role that once energized you but now feels like autopilot. Maybe you've outgrown the version of success you used to chase. Maybe you've mastered your current role and what once felt exciting now just feels like a routine. Or maybe your values have shifted and you've realized the work you're doing no longer aligns with who you're becoming. Whatever it is, this is a signal. Not a sign that you have to burn it all down, not an invitation to quit, but an invitation to reconnect. So let's talk about how to reignite your career, not from a place of panic or pressure, but from a place of intention. 4 simple ideas that I have for you today. Number 1, reconnect with what lights you up. Ask yourself, what kind of work gives me energy? When do I feel most in flow? What topics, causes, or problems do I love diving into? You don't have to change jobs to feel more energized. Sometimes reigniting starts with raising your hand for a project that excites you, something that challenges you, something that reminds you why you started this work in the first place. The second idea, seek out new perspectives. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. Find a coach, a mentor, join a professional community. Talk to people who are doing what you're curious about. Not because you have to make a leap right now, but because conversations spark clarity. Sometimes the best way to reignite is to borrow someone else's spark for a little while. The third idea, revisit your definition of success. Let me ask you this. Is the version of success you're chasing still yours? Or is it something you inherited from someone else's expectations, industry norms, or outdated narratives? Reigniting your career means redefining success in your own terms. Is it impact? Is it freedom? Is it creative expression? Is it leading others? Building something new, having more space for your life. When you get clear on your own metrics, you stop chasing what's expected and you start building what's aligned with what matters to you. Fourth idea, make a micro shift. You don't need to quit tomorrow or make a massive leap, unless that feels right for you, of course. Sometimes reigniting means postponing a new idea at work or carving out 30 minutes a week to explore a passion project, or signing up for a course that intrigues you, or asking for feedback, or asking for what you want. The key is movement, forward energy, a spark. And if you're not sure what direction to take, start asking. Ask yourself, what will make me feel proud of how I'm growing right now? Not just producing, not just achieving, but growing. The answer will show you where to point your energy next. So, if you've been feeling disconnected at work, let me remind you that it's not the end. It's just a signal, a spark asking to be reignited. And reigniting doesn't require a total overhaul. It requires curiosity. It requires asking better questions, and it requires trusting that your career isn't just a ladder to climb, it's a path to be shapen. You get to build a career that energizes you, reflects you, and grows with you because you haven't peaked. You're just getting started. Moving on to the next area, let's talk about something at the core of our human experience, our relationships. Because here's the truth. Even the strongest relationships can drift. Not because there's anything necessarily wrong, but because life gets busy, schedules get full, conversations get replaced by logistics, and connection slowly gives way to routine. Whether it's your relationships with your partner, with your kids, with your closest friend, or even your colleagues, relationships need oxygen. They need intention. They need presence. And every now and then, they need to be reignited. So how can we do that? I have a few ideas. First idea, ask real questions. Let's start here. Sometimes the most powerful way to reignite relationships is to get curious again. Ask yourself, when was the last time you had fun together? Like, really have fun. Or what do you genuinely appreciate about this person? And when was the last time you said it out loud? We tend to assume the people in our lives know how we feel about them. But words matter. Appreciation matters. Playfulness matters. Whether it's a text, a sticky note, a dinner conversation, speak it. Say the thing. Sometimes reigniting starts with a simple, I love this about you. The second idea, audit your presence. Let's be honest. How often are we physically there, but mentally miles away? We're answering messages, we're checking notifications, we're finishing up one more thing before we really engage. But relationships thrive on presence. Not perfect timing, not big orchestrated gestures, just real intentional presence. So ask yourself, how can I show up more fully, even just for a few minutes? Put down the phone during dinner, make eye contact, be where your feet are. Even 10 minutes of undistracted attention can go a long way in making someone feel seen, heard, and valued. This is something I need to remind myself all the time with my kids. My third idea for you: create micro moments of joy. Reigniting doesn't have to be grand. Sometimes it's a shared walk with no agenda, or rewatching an old family movie, or playing a board game, or cooking a meal together, or sending a voice note that says, "I'm thinking of you." The goal isn't to recreate the past or even plan for the future. It's just to be together now, whatever form that takes. And for friendships that have been faded, that where there's not a conflict, but time and distance have set you apart, don't wait for the perfect moment to reconnect. Send the message, break the silence, rebuild the bridge. You'd be surprised how often people are just waiting for someone to take that first step. So let's be the ones that take that first step. Fourth idea: be willing to have a real conversation. Sometimes reigniting means getting honest. Not every conversation drifts gently. Some are carrying unspoken tensions or unmet needs or misunderstood expectations. It might be time for that conversation. The one where you say, "I miss you. I've been distanced and I want to reconnect. This dynamic doesn't feel good. Can we talk about it?" Hard conversations don't break relationships. Silence does. When approached with love and a desire to repair, these conversations can bring new depth, new understanding, and new energy. Let me tell you a little story. I had an argument with my son. We were talking about school and homeworks and grades and all the things, and he was very upset because we took away his PS5. If you have a teenager, you know how big of a drama that can be for a teenager. We took the PS5 away, and he stopped talking to me for an entire week. An entire week. And at first, I wanted to come and apologize to him, but then I thought I should not apologize for taking the PS5 away. Maybe for how I did it, but not the fact that I took it away, because we had an understanding previously that if he dropped his grades, there would be no PS5. Anyways, long story short, it was the hardest week being a mom. When your son is there and he's not seeing you, he's not talking to you. And I knew I had to have the conversation, but at the same time, I knew I needed to make space for him. It wasn't a moment to jump in and fix what was wrong. It was a time to hold space so he could process and think about what happened and be ready for us to have that conversation. And we did. We did have that conversation. And at first I thought that conversation would trigger another argument. But when approached with love and that desire to repair and being vulnerable about how you feel, what you need, how what happened made you feel, it actually helped repair and bring a new depth to our understanding of each other and our relationship. Okay, my fifth idea for you: start small, but start now. You don't need to overhaul every relationship in your life. Start with one person, one shift, one moment of intentional connection. Reignite relationships isn't about fixing. It's about remembering. Remember what matters, remembering how much we need each other, and remembering that love, connection, and belonging don't thrive on autopilot. They thrive with intention. So here's your gentle reminder, and also a reminder for myself. Relationships evolve, but they can be revived with presence, with curiosity, with appreciation, with a little time, and with a whole lot of heart. Because when your relationships feel alive, you feel more alive too. Okay, let's move on and talk about our third area that I want to cover today, and that is routines, habits, and motivation. I know I might be cheating there because I lumped 3 into 1. Here's the thing. Your routines are either lighting you up or slowly burning you out. And if you're anything like me, maybe you found yourself in a season where what used to work just doesn't anymore. The morning routine that once energized you feels mechanical. The gym session you used to love now feels like a chore. The goals you used to chase with passion, they're sitting untouched on your to-do list. Sounds familiar? That's not failure. That's feedback. It's your body, your energy, and your inner wisdom nudging you to recalibrate. You're grown. Your life has changed. Your goals have shifted. So, of course, your habits needs to evolve too. So let's talk about how to reignite them without burning ourselves out in the process. First idea, shift the environment. Sometimes motivation isn't about the habit, it's about the setting, the space, the energy, the vibe. Maybe you need to take your journaling outside or switch up your playlist on your workouts or try doing your creative work in a cafe instead at your desk. Or light a candle, put your phone away, reframe it as a ritual instead of a task. Tiny tweaks can breathe new life into all habits. And a small change in your environment can create a big shift in your energy. My second idea, reconnect with your why. Let's go deep. Why did you start this habit in the first place? Was it to feel strong? To be more grounded, to start your day with intention, to create something that matters? When you disconnect from your why, even the best habits feel like burdens. But when we remember the heart behind them, then we return with a new kind of purpose. So ask yourself, what version of me does this habit support? How do I want to feel? And does this habit helps me get there? If the answer is yes, recommit. If it's not, revise it. Remember, habits aren't meant to impress anyone. They're meant to support you. And they evolve, just like you are evolving and growing. My third idea here, make it fun again. We don't talk about this enough, but motivation thrives on joy. If your routines feel stale, maybe it's time to light things up. Can your movement feel more like dancing and less like punishment? Can your habit tracking become a game instead of a guilt trip? Can you invite friends into your habits to make it more social? Fun doesn't mean frivolous. Play is productive. Joy creates energy, and energy fuels consistency. You don't need to white knuckle your way to discipline. You can enjoy your way there too. Okay, fourth idea. Remember, movement equals momentum. You don't need a brand new plan. You don't need a full reset. Sometimes all you need is a tiny step forward. One glass of water, one 10-minute walk, one phone-free hour, one sticky note of encouragement on the mirror. These things may seem small, but they're not. They're how momentum is built. And momentum, not motivation, is what moves us forward long term. So instead of waiting to feel motivated, do one thing. One small thing that signals yourself, I'm showing up again. I'm still here. I'm still becoming, because you are. So if your habits have lost their spark, take a breath. You don't have to overhaul your life. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start where you are and shift something. And as you do, motivation follows motion. You're never more than one small shift away from reigniting your momentum. Okay, last section. I've saved the most important one for last. Your relationship with you. Because here's the truth. Everything else we've talked about in this episode, your life, your career, your habits, your relationships, they're all deeply impacted by how connected you are to yourself. And yet, this is the one relationship we often neglect. We pour energy into work, into our families, into our goals, into everything and everyone else. But when was the last time you paused to ask, how am I doing? Like, how am I really doing right now? What do I need right now? What would support me today? When was the last time you showed yourself the same patience, the same kindness, the same love that you extend to others? If you've been feeling off, unmotivated, restless, self-critical, please hear this. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just lost touch with you. And it's time to come back home to yourself. Here's how to begin. My first idea: create quiet moments to check in. Start small, 10 minutes. No phone, no to-do list, just you. Close your eyes, breathe, and ask yourself, what am I feeling? What do I need right now? You might not get a clear answer right away, and that's okay. But this daily check-in builds a habit of self-connection. And the more connected you are to yourself, the more clearly you'll hear your intuition, your desires, your boundaries, and your truth. Idea number 2, speak to yourself with compassion and not criticism. You would never talk to a friend the way you sometimes talk to yourself. Let's be honest. If I'm honest, that is true for me 80% of the time. So what if today you rewrote the script? Try writing a note to yourself starting with, I'm proud of you for, fill the blanks. I forgive myself for, fill the blanks. I'm learning to, fill the blanks. Give yourself credit. Give yourself grace. You are evolving, not failing. And just like a fire doesn't burn brighter when you smooth it with criticism, your inner spark doesn't grow through self-judgment. It grows through care, through kindness, and through gentle attention. This is one area that I constantly need to work on. So how about you and I become our accountability partners this week, and we try this one? To speak to ourselves with more compassion and less criticism. Okay, idea number 3, give yourself permission to change. One of the most powerful gifts you can give someone is permission to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow what no longer fits. You're allowed to want something different now. You're allowed to change your mind, to shift your path, to reinvent who you are becoming. So many of us stay stuck in identities that we have outgrown because we're afraid of what change might mean. But change isn't loss. Change is expansion. And reigniting your relationship with yourself means becoming the next version of you with open arms. Because the spark you're looking for, it's not hidden in the past. It's waiting in your becoming. We often think that we have to fix everything about ourselves before we can feel good again. But your spark doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being present, from choosing to meet yourself right here, right now, from seeing yourself clearly, from saying, this is who I am today, and I'm still becoming. You don't need a complete reinvention. You don't need a brand new version of yourself. You just need to come home to yourself, to remember that you're worthy of your own time, on your own care, your own attention. And that version of you, the one who's more grounded, more lit up, more deeply connected to her purpose, she's already inside of you. She's just waiting for you to come back and say, I see you. I miss you. Let's begin again. So here's my challenge for you this week. Pick one area of your life that feels a little dim, a little flat, or just need a fresh energy, and do one small thing to reignite it. I give you a few ideas today, and I'm sure you have many other ideas, more than the ones that I already shared. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the right amount of motivation. Just pick one spark. Maybe it's going for a walk, not because you should, but because you want to reconnect with your body. Maybe it's sending a message to someone that you've been meaning to catch up with for some time. Maybe it's saying yes to something that excites you, even scares you. Or maybe, just maybe, is saying no to something that's been weighing you down. Whatever it is, start there, because you don't need to overhaul your whole life. You don't need a 5-year plan or a total reinvention. You just need to believe that you're worth showing up for. And trust this, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience, from growth, from wisdom, from every version of you that brought you to this moment. Your spark, still there. You don't need to light a bonfire today. You just need one match. Let that be enough. Let that be the beginning. And as always, keep leading yourself forward. Thank you for joining me today on this episode. This is a topic that has been my day-to-day this month. I've been trying very intentionally to embrace reignition in many areas of my life. And I hope that some of the things that I share today, which are the things that I'm learning, I'm practicing, I'm trying to reignite my own spark, have inspired you to reignite yours. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week here on the Leading Yourself podcast. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.